Hello everyone and thanks for tuning back in. Alessandro De Crypto here. I hope you're doing all fine. Let's start with today's TA because Bitcoin had this fantastic run yesterday, breaking through this resistance of $9,400 after bottoming out here at the first fib line at $8,900. So congratulations if someone bought this dip here, because currently you should be sitting in some nice profits at around 9,500, and right now we are coming to the last phase to test here this $9,700 resistance that is in front of us. Maybe we are back in track now to possibly test 9,700 and even up here at $10,300, the main resistance. And if we are able to break it, I think this could be lead into a big start of a big bull run. And that's why we have to analyze very careful currently also the bigger time frames, because there are signs here that we could have some heavy resistance here and that we are coming back down below $9,500. But this move that we have seen here also in the stock market, in the S&P, we had quite a nice pump, is already a very bullish sign, and this signals that the bulls are here and they want to bring the price up again. So that is a good sign, and currently also here in the 1 hour it's looking quite bullish. We are trading now again above the 50 level in the RSI. Stochastic here is even oversold, so here we could see a big move to the upside, breaking here also the 200 moving average in the 1 hour. And if we go over to the Bollinger Band, also here we perfectly recovered back up here into the top of the Bollinger Band, and currently we had this retracement back down here to the middle line, and possibly we're gonna see here another move towards $9,600. The problem here is a bit that we have a possible bearish cross in the MACD, but of course it's not yet happened, so it is possible that we're gonna bounce from it and don't have here this bearish cross in the MACD. So even if we would have this bearish cross and would start here to decline, I think here the 9,440 level should hold as a support at the moment. And if we go over to the 4-hour time frame, here also you can see that currently we are struggling to break here above the 50 moving average, but we are above the 200 and also the 20 moving average in the 4 hour, which is very bullish. And also here you can see that the 20 bounced exactly here at the main support of 9,370. So in theory we should be back in track now within this bigger rising wedge that we were in before. We had this possible fake out or breakout here to the downside. We immediately bottomed here at the first fib line, bounced back up, and now we have to see if we are able to break this resistance which is above us. It is also possible that these are already signs that we will see a breakout to the downside and have a major dump, but currently we are back in track, and currently it is looking like Bitcoin wants to push again towards $9,700. So here in the 4 hour it is also looking quite bullish. We are trading above the 50 in the RSI. Stochastic is oversold here, so here we could see a possible retest of the 200 or 20 moving average, which is at around 9,400 to 9,440. And also if we go over to the Bollinger Band, here you can see that we had here this bullish cross in the MACD, and currently after topping out in the Bollinger Band we are retracing back down. So also here in theory we could go towards 9,400 to bounce again from it and have this confirmation that 9,400 is our new support. Only if we would lose this $9,400 support and start to trade again below 9,300, then I think this was a fake out, this pump, and we are definitely shifted now to the downside towards our bearish targets of around $8,000. But currently in the lower time frames it is still looking quite bullish after this pump that we have seen. And also if we go over to the daily time frame, here you can see that currently we are pushing through the 20 daily moving average. This is the moving average that is concerning me a bit, because if today we're gonna close below 9,500, that would mean that we still have this moving average as a resistance. So we have to close today above 9,500 to be able again to retest here the next resistance here at 9,700, and the important one up here at 10,220 currently. So it is very important that today we're gonna close above 9,500 and also bring the RSI back again above the 50 level. We have the stochastic oversold, so in theory from here on we should see a big move to the upside, and I think it is very likely that we will see something like this coming up, especially if today we're gonna close above 9,500. So in that case, even if we will break here this resistance above us, we would be still in this potential rising wedge, which at any time can still break out to the downside and then recover back up, or we just see a breakdown, consolidation, and then bounce back up. So as long as we're gonna stay within this rising wedge, everything is possible. A breakdown is at any time possible. Also remember that we still have a lot of longs compared to shorts, so I think a possible long squeeze is at any time possible, especially as long as we're gonna stay in this potential bearish pattern. But once we're gonna break here these two resistance here, I think there are very good signs for the longer time frame that we will see a big bull run coming very soon. And if we go over to the daily time frame here in the Bollinger Band, you can see that currently we are also fighting here with the middle line, so we have to close today above here, so in order to start to trade here in the upper area. So far we are still testing the resistance and we didn't have the breakout here or the confirmation that we are back here in the upper area of the Bollinger Band in the daily. And if we can break and close above 9,500, in theory we could even go up towards 10k again. The problem here only is that so far we have to wait for the close of today, and also the MACD shifted to the downside, so in theory we are still fighting this resistance. So we don't have now a clear sign that we are back into a potential run to the upside here in the higher time frames. So be very careful in case that you're starting to long right now, because so far we didn't really had this confirmation that we are back here in the upper area. So maybe wait for today's close. If we're gonna close above 9,500, even better above 9,600, then this should signal that we are back again to test here this 10k resistance that is above us. And if we go over to the weekly time frame, here it is still looking very bullish. After coming down towards the 50 weekly moving average, we successfully bounced from it. RSI still above the 50. Stochastic is still overbought. That is what is concerning me a bit. But in the RSI we still have a lot of room left to the upside, and also we're trading above all moving averages here in the weekly. So in the higher time frames it is still looking very bullish and nothing has been broken so far. Even if we go over to the Bollinger Band, here it is looking completely different than in the daily, because here we are trading in the upper area and we're having the middle lines here as a support. So far we only had a little wick to the downside and it was immediately bought back up. And here in the weekly, in theory, we could go easily towards $11,300. MACD is also still shifted to the upside. So as you can see here, the weekly very bullish, the daily not so bullish. But all in all, I would say buying the dips from now on, even if it can drop down